Hello friends, welcome back to Season 2 of Noobs in the Skies. This is Episode 1, and as always, I'm joined by Lambo. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm here for redemption after the embarrassment that you've handed to me in Season 1. I've practiced a lot, looking at games from all across the leagues, studied rank roulette as well on top of it, and I'm ready to make a comeback here in Season 2.
I'm glad to hear that. We managed to get the cams working during the game as well for this season, so lots of technological improvements here. As we have, oh look at that, a beautiful Terran versus Terran, stone versus a rabbit. I think is this the first TVT we've had? No, I remember we had a mech game with someone building mines. That was...
Yeah. We had an actual silver game where one guy just built turrets randomly and the other guy was messing with the mines.
It was the map with the rich Vespine guys are in the middle.
Neo-humanity, yeah.
Neo-humanity. Oh, what a map, what a game. This also is looking quite powerful already, with Rabbit opening up with a very fast SCV scout.
Mm-hmm.
What are we thinking of that? Just wants to play it safe, make sure it doesn't die against any type of Reaper rushes. Double gas coming out of both player, although for a Rabbit, well, he's going to be a little bit behind with that second gas, so that's not great.
Yeah, not the super common 2-gas timing from Rabbit, but both of them playing super safe. Stone scouting for proxy racks, even though there was an SCV scout at the timing at which he would make the racks. Obviously, anticipating his opponent's mind game that he sends an SCV for the proxy racks and then sends an extra onto fake scout while he's proxying 2 racks. That's why he's checking everywhere, which is actually not that easy to do. Check every single spot there is.
Yeah, but
it requires quite some multitasking.
Here. The realistic ones have been scouted at this point. Maybe you could go up the ramp, but I always say that that's not really necessary. Except when the barracks is there, then it was necessary. You know, you always want to scout as little as possible, but still get as much info as you can. Both players opening up with double Reaper as well, no quick reactors. I think they're finding each other here. This SCV is going to get caught, or maybe it's the Reaper that's going to get caught. SCV being pulled away. Both will survive for now, as the first command center should go down momentarily. Both players floating quite a bit of money before that CC goes down here, Lambo.
Yeah, that's the multitasking failing them a little bit here. I'm pretty sure the CC must have been part of the build order a little bit earlier on, if both of them were to be AFK. So I think already, yeah, I'm noting that one down. It's a mental note here that this is not Grandmaster or Masters, to be honest.
Yeah, well, the build order, because there was something going on, and the build itself doesn't look all that bad. It's okay, it's playable. I can dig it. We have a starport as well going up in the main base for both. Like, it is an actual build order. Both players also are building Cyclones, which is definitely the best unit you can be building at this moment. So they have a decent understanding of the meta. Look at this. Rabbit even is sending that factory over to the reactor. This is starting to feel like higher and higher level. The macro is decent enough. Stone is flowing a little bit of cash and forgot about the reactor on the barracks, but everything else, especially Rabbit here, is looking solid.
They're looking pretty good, honestly. Rabbit is hitting a supply block, so I think you kind of jinxed him there a little bit. His build order not quite perfect, but it's being pretty decent. You know, one improvement that I've also made for this season is I've opened up a page that tells me which league is which MMR. Because I'm not actually that bad at guessing the leagues, but the MMR, I have no clue what MMR is which league. So this is a big cheat sheet for me that I have for this time, as Rabbit is moving out with 3 Cyclones and 2 Reapers at a relatively early timing, whereas Stone went for the early tech lab on the factory after producing 2 Cyclones, so he has 1 Cyclone less than his opponent here.
Yeah, that can be a very big issue, having 1 Cyclone less. He's going to have a couple of Marines, though, to make up for it. There's also a Cyclone in the main, though, so really he's going to have 2 Cyclones less. I love the Reaper scouts. Okay, do I have more stuff? Am I still going to have more stuff in 15 seconds from now? Let's find out. Let me scout one more time with the Reaper, maybe? What is this?
Oh, the triple scout. He sees there's only 1 Cyclone at the natural, picks off some units, loses a Cyclone and the Reapers himself. Not the best. If he committed earlier, would have definitely been better, since now there is a Raven and a tank, and then usually you would prefer the units that Stone made. However, there's a second prong to all of this. There's a Liberator in the main base, and Stone did realize as he pulled away the SCVs, but moved to the wrong side with the Cyclones at first. still manages to defend it. Both players floating considerably amounts of cash here while all of this is going on.
Yeah. Yeah, Stone actually figured out that there was a Liberator a little bit quicker than I did. When you said his second prong, I started looking at Rabbit's main base. I was like, what's going on? Then that was in the bottom right of the map. We do have the double Cyclone follow-up. Tank isn't quite sieged up on the side of Stone, and thus Rabbit is going to get a couple of SCV kills, while also still floating that considerable amount of cash. Following this up, by the way, with a 5 Rex rather than a 3rd CC. Could have afforded both, because I don't think he's been below 400 or 500 minerals up until this point. Also just building pure Marines with naked barracks. Okay, he's going to cancel that, get reactors. That's a much better call here. As he continues flying with the Cyclones. I love Rabbit's position in this game.
Yeah, I think they know what they're supposed to be doing, both of them. You can either play less Ravens and then you get earlier Stim and you try to do something with it, which is what Rabbit is doing, or you can get some earlier Ravens out, get the tanks, and then try to trade more efficiently, which is what Stone's approach to this game seems to be. I mean, if he can stay alive, it's not too bad for Stone. Rabbit's gonna have a very strong +1 timing though, once his barracks start producing. As now Stone is the one on the offensive, and because all of these barracks were in production, the macro wasn't perfect, there's not that many units on his side of the map, as the 2 Cyclones in Stone's main base are also ravaging his entire mineral line. And they're trading.
He moved out with 4 Marines, and he lost all of them. So now he's just 2 tanks by themselves shooting depots while they're unsieged. That made me so happy. The 2 Cyclones still going ham. Medevac still around as well, could potentially pick them up. 8 and 10 kills respectively on these Cyclones. SCV's coming off the line, as I think these Ravens might just end up dying. No, gonna stay alive. I think this would be a great time to retreat here, Mr. Stone. Oh no.
He dropped a mule on top of the double Cyclone drop. Trying to be as fast as possible, not quite working out for him here. I mean, I miss this. I miss this Rambo level of gameplay that we see. That I was used to seeing every week here.
Yeah,
I've missed it during the break.
I missed it too. These 2 Ravens might have their lives in danger. They're very low, 1 HP and 26 HP. Could get some repairs, might be useful later on in the game. Stone still in an abysmal position here in this game. As Combat Shield is finishing up for Rabbit. Has a bunch of Marines with Stim, with Combat Shields, with +1. And Stone actually also has Combat Shield. Went for Combat Shield before Stim, which is a decision we don't see very often. Does have the triple CC. Technically, if Stone takes a brilliant fight, or if Rabbit takes a god-awful fight, I see a future in this game here, Lambo.
Yes. That is a big if, though. Because he just has way more units than his opponent, but he's stimming forward. It's a pretty nice pre-split. Good auto-turret timings, though. And now the Marines are not split at all anymore. They're running into the 3 tanks. They're also running into the auto turn, and the awful fight is exactly what you got here from Rabbit. I actually think the micro was pretty decent, but the setup defensively was also quite nice from Stone here, who had enough Raven energy, and it was really clutch that he retreated at the time where you said he should retreat. He repaired up all the units, and he managed to hold now, which I think is the scariest timing that Rabbit had for now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Wouldn't have minded a scan towards the natural, or maybe an attempted drop towards the main, or maybe a scan and then a drop into the main. Although it feels like if there's just 3 naked tanks and 2 Ravens, maybe it should have been a winnable fight. Now we're gonna see the drop. This is a very common play at especially lower level that we see, is where people, they throw away a lead and then they start playing well again. It's like, they went terrible. I thought I'd won the game. I threw away the massive lead. Let me now start doing things that I'm supposed to be doing. Even high-level players sometimes do that as well.
I was about to say, I know that feeling myself. It's not it's not exclusive for low-level players, as Rabbit is doing exactly that, but Stone actually, the moment he defended it, threw down a lot of turrets and went for a counter drop himself. Sadly, Oceanborn has a lot of area that you can enter your opponent's main base via, and that means all the turrets were for nothing, as both medevacs got to unload inside Stone's main base, who went for a counter drop and who also ran to the other side of the map with his own Raven, so it's gonna have a harder time defending his main base for now.
Yeah, 1-1 most likely gonna be denied as well on the side of Stone. Stone does enter. 2 Marauders with the drop as well. Love to see it. A little bit of variation there when it comes to the bio. As lots of depots going down, refineries being taken out. I do think that Stone is going to stabilize at some point. Doesn't really manage to deal a whole lot of damage from the other side either. Loses all of the Marines, will lose, well, at least one out of the 2 medevacs. Defensively, still hasn't cleaned it up either. As I think our red Terran right now is in a world of trouble, Lambo.
In a world of trouble. I mean, ever since the early builders, honestly. Even though he did make that hold, Rabbit just has way more army to work with, and the sequence of events was definitely good for Rabbit as well. The job is still not cleared up. I think he should just chill at his tank, which he is also now realizing. Honestly, I'm starting to think this is better, and they were just floating because there was stuff going on. Because multitasking is hard.
Yeah. The control is not that bad, right? Like the
control
little
is
moves, the pullbacks, yeah.
But I mean, macro is more important than control. Is one thing that I have picked up through season 1. Sometimes I'm impressed with the little micro moves they make, but then their macro is just not.
Yeah.
It's just not there. As Stone right now is not really producing any of the important units that he should be producing, which is
Thors.
mini siege tanks.
You never know. Couple of Thors, man. They do have some serious damage. Tank count is low. See these medevacs disappear off the map as well. You put these Thor into the big boy mode. No healing for the Marines. Then the tanks on the ground. That's the type of theory crafting that I need in my life. As 2-2 has started right now for Rabbit. Stone is still on 3 bases. I don't think that 3rd CC has ever seen the low ground. Right? Yeah, all of these minerals are still full. It's,
yep.
The resources lost. They must be Stone favored. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, at least a little bit. It's been mining way less. Supply surprisingly close. No SCVs being produced here for a blue Terran. Raven still around in the dead space. Rabbit just... I think Rabbit thinks he's outmining his opponent more than he really is. He's like, oh, it doesn't have a 3rd base. I have 3. That looks good for me. It's not really how it works if you're, being outmuled and the other dude also has more SCVs. Actually, right now, Stone is outmining Rabbit in this game.
Yeah, Rabbit had to fix his saturation, and now he also realized, okay, maybe I should add a couple more SCVs. But other than that, everything is speaking for Rabbit in this game. The Raven, by the way, got 19 kills overall, so that was a thorn in Rabbit's side as well. Stone being good there with the multitasking. Always, when you're behind, it's very easy to just sit there and camp, but if you do something on the other side as well, it forces mistakes, it buys you time. It's a very high-level move to, even though you're behind, still send a couple of units over to try and counter-harass.
Yeah, that's true. It's important. It relieves a little bit of pressure often. Yeah, 19 kills is a pretty painful thorn in the side of Rabbit. Indeed. 19 freaking kills. If that hadn't happened, this game would be over. But then a lot of single things. If they hadn't happened, then this game would also be over. It would have walked the 30 Marines into the 3 tanks and the 2 auto turrets. I too believe the Rabbit would be very far ahead. Either way, sensor tower is being set up. 2 tanks, they crawl forward. We'll clear these 2 Marines up. There are 3 sensor towers. Is that 3? Yeah, 3 sensor towers on the other side as well. If you put on the sensor tower, that's actually mainly scouting off the map. Guys, there's an invasion coming from the north.
And I don't know. I don't know why he's trying to scout the top left dead airspace behind his main base, but I guess for the Raven, if it ever gets there.
I'm really afraid of that Raven. That Raven's done a number on him. Gotta get an 8 Marine drop being sent out as well here for Stone. Oh, I feel like this drop could deal some serious damage. This is the type of drop that wins games in TVT. There's no tank at the 3rd base. It's unloaded. It's stimming in. There's a tank at the 3rd, so maybe not quite, but still. Like, those drops are so freaking important. It's gonna unload. It's gonna stim in towards the 3rd. Try his best. And the tank actually doesn't cover everything, so you don't pay attention for 10-15 seconds. Boom, all your SUVs are gone. So it's gonna stim into this entire tank line, which seems to be somewhat working, as the stim was late for our red Terran player. Tank trade happens, as the supplies are very close still, but I don't quite know where the supply is for Stone. I guess a bunch of it is in the main, a bunch of it is in those Vikings as well. Marine drop now heading in towards that 3rd, where the tank is easily defending that. SCVs being pulled away instantly as well. This is a solid defense coming out of Rabbit.
Solid defense out of Rabbit, who also started 3-3, so he retains his upgrade advantage, as he's now also denying the mining of Stone's own third base. So Stone needs to do something. He either needs to break out or he needs to go for another couple of counter drops in order to do something. As there's a 5 Marine flag. Where the hell are those Marines coming from? There's a 5 Marine flag who's coming in to break out of his own natural. The tank is not enough with a couple of Marines off Rabbit there to defend that position, and now Stone is the one that actually needs to do something because he's actually SCV pulling because he lost his third command center. He says enough is enough. He's lifting his main towards his third. He's not mining any minerals as of this moment, and he tries to win with his army advantage. He's still down in upgrades. He's only up 10 army supply.
Yeah, but 6 versus 1 tank. And
that
there's
is
still
true.
a Raven. He's gonna use the Raven for an interference as well. That would be huge as we get the siege up. Good controller out of Rabbit as he forces a siege, pulls back, needs to win as much time as possible. Stone can start leapfrogging forward though. That interference matrix, or these 2 interference matrices, are going to be absolutely key over here. He's gonna send it in fairly quickly, unsieges everything as he starts moving across the map. SCVs are left behind despite being pulled. This tank is gonna get sniped and now we have an actual game on our hands. Is there anything defensively though for Stone? The answer there is no, as a Rabbit is gonna base trade with an 8 Marine drop, which soon is going to have 3/3 upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, these SCVs of Stone are the worst SCV people I've ever seen. These guys could have just been mining as well. It's not like he doesn't have CCs to mine from. So
he's 1 SCV at the third right now.
I don't know what these guys are doing, but this is the safest place on the map right now because they're not in the fight at the front and they're not at home dying to the counter arrest. So these are really the smart workers of the Terran army, just hiding in plain sight in the dead center of the map, doing absolutely nothing. As yeah, the Marines, the well-upgraded Marines from Rabbit, going for a counter-attack. At this point, Stone is just not mining anything anymore, which means he's gonna have trouble cleaning this up, right? He has no production at all at home, so he needs to win the game on the other side as he goes in with another interference matrix, and he does win the fight on Rabbit's side, and this will be a base trade with very, very small armies.
Yeah, it's tiny little armies, but Stone's tiny army is still significantly better than his opponent's. Problem being, of course, he's down in upgrades. And on top of that, units are still being produced in Rabbit's base as well. How many command centers do we have? We have 2 command centers remaining here. So these turrets start working on the Vikings. Vikings get pulled back. Now they die. Medevac under some heavy turret fire here as well. Command center of Stone is flying towards the left. No, now going towards the dead space. Might actually start burning here, Lambo. When do they start burning? 500?
Yeah, no.
Oi, 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 oi. That ain't good.
1/4 of the health. As another good interference matrix, and Stone is now trying to breach Rabbit's main base. Rabbit was a lot faster at getting towards the main base of his opponent, but he doesn't have any Vikings left. So he needs to at least save some of his buildings. And it needs to be 1 orbital as well, otherwise he can't mine enough to get a Viking. So at the very least, Stone would have a draw in that case.
We could have a draw.
Well, the thing is, Rabbit can't kill all of Stone's buildings. And Stone has the better army, and he still has 2 Vikings. So as long as he doesn't lose the 2 Vikings, I don't think this should ever be a draw. But there's a good chance these 2 Vikings just fly into the turret. Yeah.
You killed 2 of them early already. Please fly in the turret with your Vikings.
Dude, the Vikings are by themselves. If Rabbit realizes, he could try to snipe them.
He was so busy writing childish insults to his opponent he could win. He's gonna go for it. I think that's his strategy, maybe. Oh, no.
No, they're spoiling the level.
Well, at least
I
we
can't
know they're
believe
not flat. Because if they're flat, that's not a real insult, right?
It has to be low diamond then.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's how it works. Oh, that was beautiful.
I mean, this adds a whole new level of mind games for us.
It really does. Wow.
So, let me open up my tab here.
This is such a good game. Holy cow. All right. Well, what are we thinking here, Lambo? Let's just... Just a little bit. A little bit of
Okay,
thinking.
okay. Let's recap a little bit. The macro was really not that good. The moment anything happened, everything fell apart. But this still holds true throughout Diamond League. I think even in Diamond One, the moment like there's multitasking happening, the one guy is sending the Raven, there's a double Cyclone drop. I think we can cut them some slack. I think the micro was pretty good overall. It's just that macro is very very important and build order is very very important. I think both of them played very safe, which gives them a boost. But then at the same time, build order wasn't super tight. So that's a negative for me. I think for sure, I would have guessed that this was diamond. Now that the guy got him platinum,
I feel
makes it
like
a little bit harder for me.
yeah, because there's a couple of things here. It could either be that they're both plat, or that maybe Rabbit wasn't plat, and lost to a plat. It's like, oh, you platinum trash.
Yeah.
Are you looking at me?
I'm trying to. I should not have called it out.
I was wondering what you're looking at. It's like I forgot that I'm sitting right next to you. Okay, good point. What I was thinking is that you call someone like plat trash, right? Just like that. When they're plat, that would make sense as well. Or if they're very
Exactly.
far away from plat. So either it's plat or it's much higher. Because I don't think if it's diamond 3 or diamond 2, it's like I feel like I actually have a really good idea what it is. I'm really happy with this. I feel like I was doubting myself, but then once he started BMing, I actually wonder why he BM'd as well. Like there wasn't anything that was that weird, no?
I think it's a general Terran thing that you feel like you outplayed your opponent and then you lost because of balance. Now in this case, he lost.
TBT.
It's difficult to blame balance, but he had to blame something else. It was probably the defensive playstyle or something. I don't know
Too
exactly
many
know why
tanks,
he
why
was
not
mad.
just Marines?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. He was mad that the other guy made bunker or something. I have no idea.
All right. I'll start because I won last season.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, I'm going for 4,600. 4,638.
4,638.
Yeah.
Do you know what league that is? Because I can tell you now.
It's like Masters 2, maybe?
It is Masters 2. Damn, how did you know that? Okay. No, Platinum. Okay. I mean, the inside. No, I agree with your reasoning. I think the most likely use when you flame someone that they're platinum trash is if you're in diamond, but you look down on the platinum player. So I think it is in diamond. I would be very surprised if it is in masters. Because then I feel like if you're in master league and you try to insult someone, if you're masters too, so you're comfortably in masters, you insult someone with being as diamond, because it needs to be somewhat realistic of their skill level. So I really doubt this is masters. So I'm gonna go with yeah, it's a difficult guess. It's a difficult guess.
It really
I
is.
would have went way lower. If you would have let me go first, I would have went way lower. No, I don't want to be too far behind from the get goes because that's also a bad feeling. I know it all from last season. I go damn. I go straight 4K, nothing else. This is diamond one.
Clean 4K?
Clean 4K, just 4,000 on the dot.
Gotcha. 4,000 on the dot. I'm downloading the mmr.txt. Oh no.
It's way lower, right?
The server was EU. The submitter called Elbow was 3,654.
This is what. Okay. I'm still happy. Because of my head. But this is what I would have went for. Like I would have went for diamond too.
Really? This felt so
Should have
okay.
trusted myself. No, I think you. Okay, this is, and it's stupid that I give this advice because I sucked at this last season. But I think we need to look more at the macro. It's very important that if these guys are floating a lot, especially in the early game, you gotta go down a little bit. In the leagues.
One answer right, all of a sudden you're the expert giving advice.
Exactly. Just watch out. I'm trying to give you a chance, man. I'm trying to give you what I learned. You should appreciate it.
Need to look more at the macro. Thank you, Lambo. Down 2k points last season. Appreciate it. All right. That's gonna be it for this week. Next week we'll be back We're going to be filming an entire new season. So if you want your games in there, you say, I have a fun one, which is going to be hard for the boys to guess, be sure to send it to the email that's in the description. I think it is just harambo.se2@gmail.com. But don't take my word for that. Just look in the description. That's where it's going to be. Thank you all for watching, and bye-bye.